How are you?
Great. How are you?
No worries. I wanted to start off and, I suppose, pitch a question to both of you. I mean, I know looking at the film and looking at the trailer and looking at everything with it, this is, kind of 80s, 70s and 80s space opera. Obviously, Star Wars is a huge part of this. Star Trek as well, with Mission Log and everything like that. I'm wondering, I mean, were there any other kind of like deep cuts you had going on, like Flight of the Navigator, anything like that were kind of, I guess, on your mood board, if you know what I mean?
I think Flight of the Navigator has like a pretty cool time dilation idea in it, but it wasn't necessarily a graphic influence. I think Aliens was pretty influential, and I feel like it's the 1977 to 1987 sci-fi really is the chief influence of the look of the film and the feeling of the film, definitely.
I mean, is that kind of, is it the sort of the militarism of it, or is it the sort of the optimism, that kind of like the endeavor? Like I think of like the Wright stuff, for example, like, like that film, like I think that film like is like one of the most positive films about like space in that time period. Like, you had like Aliens and it was like, oh God, everyone's going to die if we go into space. Whereas the Wright stuff seems so kind of positive, I guess.
Yeah, it's like pre-CG model making and prop design and just sort of aesthetics of the kind of post-Star Wars, post-Alien design language. Really, those two films are really influential for just the way that a lot of the sci-fi felt and looked at that time. So I think that's the stylistic idea.
We focused a lot of effort on trying to get the warmth of the traditional model-making versions of, building props and building spaceships. CG tends to, certainly out of the box has a much colder, cleaner, crisper look to it, and that wasn't what we were going for. We were going for more of that 80s model build. Yeah,
the kind of the chunky look almost kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In terms of the voice cast, I mean, it's weird. I mean, obviously, Tim Allen is so associated with Lightyear or with Buzz Lightyear, but like in hearing Chris Evans, like, I mean, I can't imagine. It's almost like, God, you should go back and redub the rest of the other films with his voice. Like he was that good in it. I'm wondering, I mean, what was your kind of direction to him? Was it just like Captain America on even more steroids, or what was the direction, I guess?
We talked about it in that it wasn't quite Captain America unless there was I don't know. The way I looked at it is like, I told Chris I just wanted him to kind of do his own voice and just deliver it with here's the backstory of the character and here's their sense of duty that he has. But then we cast him for his sensibilities and his voice. When we got into the mission log, which is an idea that came a little later in the process, I think he got a little bit more, a little lower and a little more serious. And then conversely, when he would talk to Alicia and she would chide him, he'd be a little higher, be like, "Oh, come on!" And so those two extremes really were the bounding box of the character. But Pixar has always prided itself in just sort of like approaching character voices as the actors themselves and not putting on another voice. We're just trying to search for the truth of that. And it was just because the character was so different from Toy Story in the sense that Toy Story, he's this comic relief and here he has to carry the whole movie. A different casting was useful in separating the two because they really are two different universes. There is a Venn diagram of them touching in Buzz Lightyear, the character, but that's about it.
Galyn, I know there was a tweet that was doing the rounds recently enough talking about Toy Story 2 and basically how you saved Toy Story 2. And I can see Angus just...
yeah, he loves this.
It's my favorite part.
Is it really? Yeah? Oh, shit.
Okay. I was there, but I can take no credit.
Well, like, I mean, I guess what I wanted to ask was just, any kind of observations from that or anything like that, any stories you want to share?
So first of all, I didn't save the film. I had a copy of the film at home.
She saved it.
And a lot of people worked on extracting that and making sure like we could rebuild a film out of that. So this is part of the theme of our movie.
It is part of the theme of our movie, but I enjoy the idea that you saved it single-handedly.
Yeah, okay.
It's a better story.
There you go. But it was a collective effort. We've learned a lot since then from, verifying our backups all the way to having like duplicate live machines. So, that kind of calamity should not happen again. But each film presents their own unique calamities. So it's great. It was a great rehearsal for all future projects, for sure.
Yeah, and like again, it's teamwork, and Lightyear is about teamwork, and like you can't do it alone. So yeah, it fits
together with that. Yeah, that was good. That was
they
good.
just wrap it out. Just bringing it around.
Well
Okay,
done.
great stuff. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 3901. After a full year of being marooned, our first hyperspeed test flight is a go.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
You were narrating again.
I was not. Just doing the mission log.
You do know no one ever listens to those.
I know that. Narrating helps me focus.